Hello, I'm John Bachman. Prosecutors have now rested their case in the Boston Marathon bombing trial. Prosecutors and the medical examiner showed jurors graphic autopsy photos with the wounds caused when the Tsarnaev brothers set off those homemade bombs near the finish line in the 2013 marathon bombing. Defense attorneys hope to save Dzhokhar Tsarnaev from the death penalty and will argue that his deceased brother was the mastermind behind all of this. 3 people were killed and more than 260 were hurt. And an update now, a story out of the NSA headquarters. Officials do confirm that one person is dead after a stolen SUV tried to smash through the gates. Guards at Fort Meade Army Base, where the NSA is located near Baltimore, were forced to open fire when 2 men tried to breach the facility this morning. A senior defense official says the suspects were dressed as women, but a spokesman for the FBI says they don't believe the incident is linked to terrorism. According to NBC, drugs and at least 1 gun were found inside that SUV. In Indiana, Republican lawmakers are now revising the language of a new law and say it does not discriminate against members of the LGBT community.
What we had hoped for with the bill was a message of inclusion of all religious beliefs. What instead has come out is a message of exclusion, and that was not the intent.
Well, state officials defend the law, claiming that their states have similar legislation, but opponents to the legislation have taken to the internet with the hashtag boycott Indiana. And a couple of Republicans may be getting closer to joining the presidential race. Politico says Florida Senator Marco Rubio is looking at a possible announcement on April 13th. His team is reportedly looking at several possible locations, including the Freedom Tower in Miami, which is a landmark often referred to as the Cuban version of Ellis Island. And he may be joined in the Republican race relatively quickly by former HP CEO Carly Fiorina. She told Fox News over the weekend that she's about 90% sure she'll run for president. Police are investigating a spring break shooting that left 7 people injured. This is the suspect right here. Authorities say David Daniels opened fire at a house party in Panama City over the weekend. Some residents say the popular spring break destination is getting way out of control.
And it's time that we enact some ordinances and enforce the laws that we have to make sure that we get this place under control.
Well, officials have set the bond for that shooting suspect, who again you see right here, his name is David Daniels, at $575,000. And people often plead with tow truck drivers not to take their cars away, but this Chicago guy had another approach here. Well, something like that. The driver of this Jeep just got in his vehicle and then drove right off the tow truck. The video was captured by people in a nearby apartment. Windows are good for those types of adventures. He drove off there. It doesn't appear to do any damage to that truck. Stopped there for the stoplight, though, and then kept on going, and he got away. Don't know if they got the license plate on that. More to come with another update in 30 minutes. I'm John Bachman, and now send it back to Midpoint with Ed Berliner.